Hello everyone, welcome to Mark's Finance and Fitness. I want to get right into it. My last video went over my technology stocks. One of the stocks that I hold is Microsoft. Microsoft had a really good dip today and I think created an outstanding buying opportunity. Microsoft is one that I think will just continue to just dominate the market, and with its business being very profitable for the rest of my life. And so today with the dip, I want to go over why they dipped, but also there's been some really interesting news surrounding Microsoft that I want to cover. And so let's get started. So Microsoft ended today with a 3.62% decline. It went down over $10 per share. To me, this is a buy day for Microsoft. It's rare that they dip like this. Now, recently the last year or two, they've gone up substantially, and their PE ratio, I think, hit a high of 38, and now it's a little bit lower in the 35 range. But with Microsoft, what you buy is a company that is going to be around for a very long time. They have a very strong subscription-based service that provides a lot of revenue. They repeatedly beat their earnings, and I just think even if you bought Microsoft last week when it was near 300, you're still getting quite a deal, because I think this company is going to grow into its valuation and beyond in the future. So why did they dip today? Well, there's two main reasons, and I don't think either of them really, kind of validate a dip for Microsoft, but it dipped, so we'll be thankful, right? We're going to buy it. So one of the main reasons is that, this whole thing around the interest rates possibly going up next year is kind of shaking the industry, because companies aren't going to be able to borrow money cheaply like they have for during this pandemic. And so to not be able to borrow money cheaply just means it's really going to get pricey for certain companies. But why I don't think this is a big deal for Microsoft is because they are a cash flow giant, and really it's not going to hurt them too much. Now, if you're a smaller company, it is going to hurt you. But these big companies like Microsoft and Apple, this is really just creating an excellent buying opportunity, because there's really no reason for this to really hit this company like it did today. This company financially is extremely stable, has a healthy balance sheet, one of the best companies in the world when it comes to that. And so really, they're going to be fine no matter what. The second reason is, as you know, right now, the government is trying to avoid a shutdown and trying to get a bill passed to fund the government. Now, of course, that could really create some interesting dynamics if that were to happen. And, but really, they always eventually come together, get through it, and pass something in the end, even if they close for a few days or a week, which I hope doesn't happen, because that still would be traumatic to the economy. I think that as far as Microsoft goes, that's really not going to touch them too much, but that's the other fear. And so these two, I think, only created an excellent buying opportunity. I don't think Microsoft really deserved the dip for these two reasons, but that's what's going on. So hey, let's all take advantage of this and buy some shares of Microsoft. Now, this dip created a really great buying opportunity, but let's look at some other news surrounding Microsoft. One of them I think is a really awesome thing that Microsoft is doing, and the other one is just a fun story. So in this story, Microsoft CEO says failed TikTok deal is the strangest thing I've worked on. As you know, when President Trump was in office, he wanted to separate the American portion of TikTok and have another company kind of manage it to safely make sure that it's being protected, people's data, so on and so forth. He thought it was a U.S. security level, item to take care of, and Microsoft was in the running to take over the American TikTok share of the business to make sure that it implements really strong safeguards to protect people using it. So that way data doesn't get out and leaked and get to, China, and they'll be able to, have that at their whim. So this deal looked like it was making progress, looked like it was going to go through. And then, of course, Trump did not get reelected and Biden got into office. Well, what's the strange thing that the CEO is saying is the topic just kind of died off. There's been no real talk about it with the new administration. And he's kind of tried to bring it up and all they kind of give them is just a little bit of, hey, well, we're still looking into it. But for this being considered such a high U.S. security issue and then kind of just going away, he just says it's a very odd, you know, kind of events that happened. And so really, I think Microsoft and other companies are probably waiting to see if this will be up for bid again, because it really would be a good opportunity, especially for Microsoft, to get into some type of popular social media for its business. That's where a lot of growth occurs. Look at Facebook, look at Apple. And so I think that that is kind of strange. It was a very high security issue, and then change of parties, now it's kind of like not even being talked about. And so yeah, that is very strange, something to think about. So we'll see what kind of develops if this ever does come back up. So for now, we'll just see what happens there. Now, what I really want to get to is some kind of dirt here, and that's Microsoft. They're going to be releasing their Windows 11 soon, and they're going to be launching the Microsoft Store with Windows 11 on October 5th. Now, what's going to happen here is they're going to allow Epic Games to be part of their online app store and allow kind of like as a third party people to discover them to pay outside the app. And if you have followed any of this, Epic took Apple to court basically because Apple wanted to make sure that all apps you can only purchase apps and related things in their app store. And Epic Games tried to create this kind of third-party paying, we'll say, opportunity for people to go and kind of get a cheaper rate instead of Apple's 30% commission rate. And Apple definitely did not want that. They have their own reasons. Eventually, the court decided it felt like a split decision, so Epic's going to continue this lawsuit. But basically, Epic was kind of kicked off Apple's app, but Apple does have to now create the opportunity for people to discover third-party apps. So to go onto some other app, then make your payment instead of just doing it on the Apple app, for example. And this isn't going to be put into place until I think December, January for Apple, but in comes Microsoft. And Microsoft is saying that it won't take a cut of purchases made through the digital storefronts if the third party has its own payment system. So it's saying, hey, if you have another way for people to pay this, by all means, they can do that. And I feel like this is kind of a shot at Apple from Epic and Microsoft in a way. Now let's keep in mind that these companies are competitive against each other, right? And so I think this is a great opportunity for Microsoft to get some buzz here and get some, more, usage of its new store, Microsoft Store release, and have a lot more apps come in here because they're going to be able to allow their customers to either pay on the Microsoft app or bypass it and open up their own app to pay for it there, which will avoid some commissions and stuff like that. And so I think this is just amazing. Microsoft quoted saying, "It's also about making sure our business terms are fair and help promote innovation." I think that is a direct shot at Apple saying, hey, you might have fought this, but we are going to accept it. We're going to embrace it. And that's kind of a marketing quote, I feel, but I think that's going to fare well with a lot of the apps out there that want to give an opportunity to purchase things on their app instead of within Microsoft's App Store. And so I think this will just broaden their customers and opportunities for more people to flow through their Microsoft App Store, get more used to it, and have more flow of users, which will broaden their opportunity to really take on more market share in that aspect. So I think this is some really interesting news. I'm excited to see what Apple's reaction is. I haven't found anything yet. Epic hasn't commented either, but Microsoft is definitely letting you know, everyone else know that, hey, we're okay with this. Apple wasn't, we are. We're moving forward with this with our October 5th launch of the Microsoft App Store in Microsoft or in Windows 11. And then a month later, I guess they're going to allow this to happen in Windows 10 if you still have that. So there you have it. That is a lot of news around Microsoft, but it's all very interesting. I think it's really fun to go over this stuff. And if you have a chance, buy this dip with Microsoft because it's very rare. I mean, it could be still dipping through the rest of the week, but I think today is probably the sharpest fall that we're going to get. And if anything, there might be some trailing little dips where there might be some more opportunities to buy. But yeah, if you get a chance, I think buying Microsoft right now is an awesome opportunity. This company is, you know, really just proving themselves over and over. They have a strong subscriptions business. Now with this App Store news, I think that's just getting more people to look at Microsoft. And yeah, so let me know what you guys think about this news, this drop today. Are you buying? Are you waiting to see if they'll go any lower? And keep in mind, I think the analysts have a low rating for 285, which they just dipped below today, and a high of like 400 per share. So again, I think if you bought last week around the $300 range, you're still getting Microsoft. So, you know, don't look today as, oh man, I should have waited. Look at it more as, hey, I should buy another share, or, you know, or don't get down on yourself because Microsoft is, I guarantee you, will surpass whatever you bought it at recently in the near future. So with that said, everyone, have a great day. We'll talk to you very soon on Mark's Finance and Fitness, and thank you very much.